Hi there. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to pass data in between two activities. So first create one blank activity project. Once you create that, you have your display something like this. Okay. So go with the activity underscore means text view, and inside your current layout, add one more layout, and that is linear layout. Okay, so I'm gonna add text view, edit text and button inside this linear layout. I'm also going to add orientation. So Android orientation equals to vertical. You can also set some ID for your linear layout if you want. And inside this layout, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add text view. Okay, so I'm going to name this ads @ id / text1. Okay, and I'm going to also add text Android text equals to enter phone. Okay, below this I'm going to add edit text, so I'm going to use edit text and then set to wrap content and then use ID @ID/ and then edit one. Okay, and third thing to add here is one button. Okay, wrap content and another ID as @ID/ button1. Okay, so I added three things here. Let's check them out and it will refresh with, as you can see, it shows enter phone, and below that I'm going to add the phone and then my button. So let me just name the button as well. Okay, so we will use Android text, and here click. Okay, or you can press button as your text. Okay, so we have our elements set. The next thing to do is right click on your project directory, then click on new, and then you can add one empty activity. When you add empty activity, it should create two files. One is your XML for layout and the second one is your Java file. Okay, so I have named my activity as web view, as you can see on the left hand side, and I'm going to use that. You can create a different name to use for your code. Okay, so for now I'm going with web view, right? So let me check out the layout for web view in activity underscore web view XML. So I have another layout here, and I'm going to use text view set to wrap content, and here the ID for text view is @ID and then text2. Okay, so we have our things set up properly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open main activity.java, and here I'm going to add a few things. For example, I'm going to add private button. Then I'm gonna add text view, also edit text, and that's pretty much it. Now inside protected void on create method, we are gonna create instance of each of these elements, or you can call them widget if you want. So find view by ID to locate the first button. So it's going to be RID and then button 1. Then we want to have edit text equals to edit text, then find view by ID, then RID, edit 1, and then text view, so here I'm gonna add that. Text 1. Okay, now we are also going to set some action to button. So button dot set on click listener, and then new view dot on click listener. Now inside that we're going to add a public void on click, and then view argument 0. Okay, and here we have to create the instance of intent. So intent I equals to new intent get application context, and then we have to call for web view dot class. Okay, this will point our intent to this file. Okay, currently there is nothing here, but it will pass the intent there. Okay, then we have to pass the content from our edit text to this intent. So I dot put extra, and then let's check out. Okay, so put extra, and here I'm using number, and here we will use edit text dot get text dot toString. Okay, and that should pass the content from our current activity to the next activity. And now we have to use start activity and pass on our intent I. Okay, so this takes care of our main activity Java's code. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to check our web view, and we have to check this text view here, and inside web view dot java we're going to add one code inside protected void on create. Here I'm going to use, before that let me add text view. Okay, and here let's create instance of that. Okay, and then find view by ID, r.id, and then text view 2, or you can say you have text 2, so you need to call for that. Okay, and here we have to take the intent from our early activity here. Okay, so get intent is the method to call for. After that we will use string number equals to I dot get string extra. Okay, and here we pass on our number from earlier activity here, and then we use text view dot set text, and here your number, then colon, then plus, and here we use number. Okay, so that should get the content from our number here into our new activity here. Okay, so it should be displayed here, which is currently blank. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open our emulator and run the code for that emulator image. So deploy your code. So the app is loaded, and as you can see, it shows us the detail as enter phone, then phone number, and then press button. So I'm gonna press button, but before that let me just type some content in it. So ff00 and then some number. This is because I have used string, so it will accept both characters and numbers, and then going to press button. It should take us to the next activity, and it shows your number and then the string that we just passed. So the data is going from one activity, which is our main Java activity, and then into the WebView Java activity. Okay, so this was a short demonstration on how to send data from one activity to another.